Agenda West Side Beer.
Well, we did it. We did it, folks. We made it through another week. Welcome to Into the West Comics. We are certainly glad that you are here with us today. If it's your first time with us, we want to say hi. Thanks for checking us out. If it's your first time, go look at some of our other stuff. We're happy you're here. And if you've joined us before, welcome back. We have a lot to get into today. We're going to be talking about Andor and what we are seeing tonight, the premiere of Black Panther. But before we get into that, I want to introduce our panel today. It's looking bright in here, folks, and that's probably because we got a big dose of Sonny Hatley sitting across from me. Sonny, good to see you, my friend.
Hello.
How are you?
Did the whole government there for me.
We throwing out government names.
Edit that out on the live later.
No, that was not his government.
No, yeah. Leave it. I'm like a superhero, okay? It's my secret identity.
I'm like
protecting
a superhero.
protecting my family, all right?
Okay.
And then we've got somebody who we all love and know. A brother that is so close to our hearts that we cannot get enough of.
Oh.
He is the man,
Hey, now.
the myth, hey, Shoba. He is the one, the only, the deacon, the brother, Marcus.
Hey now.
Whoa. Thank you.
Marcus, good to have you, buddy.
Hey.
And then,
likewise.
of
Good to
course,
be here.
as always from the hot dog region, he's not Oscar Mayer himself, but he's the one, the only, Paulie B. Paul, what's going on, bud?
Paulie B.
Why did you guys let me do this last week? Should have been.
And then, for whatever reason, in the corner today is the guy that always hosts this show. The one, the only, the man in charge himself. The reason this all exists, Frank.
Hey.
Hey.
Frank, can you hear us, Frank?
I can hear you.
He's like loud and clear, bro.
Real quick, I really like that shout out you had for Marcus. Is like, I know you got a Pentecostal background,
Yeah.
Donovan.
Yes.
I thought you were going to speak in tongues.
I almost did. I felt the Holy Ghost over me for a second and almost took over, but thank God that didn't happen.
Missed you guys a lot. Glad to see you.
Oh, that's
Good to
cool.
be here, Frank. Glad to
glad
have
you
you
made
back.
it.
He's here this week. He made it just in time. We have a lot to get into. I first
Yeah.
wanted to start off today's show with a show on Disney Plus that has been unbelievable. Now, for a couple of us here on the panel, we haven't watched it in its entirety, but for the three of us, being Frank, Paul, and myself, we've
Yeah.
seen all of it. It is the show Andor. If you have not checked out this show on Disney Plus, it is the greatest Disney Plus show that is on the platform now. And I have that Quan verified, our producer. If he likes it, you know it's good.
Yeah, this is true.
So
true. That's good.
I want to get your guys'
for real.
takes on first
Certified Quan.
from Marcus and Sonny. I want to get Marcus, you haven't seen any of it. Is that correct? So
no,
you
I
have
have
yet.
not,
So that
no.
is on your playlist to
It
be
is on my
watched.
playlist. Yes.
Sonny, of the 3 episodes that you've watched so far, what are your initial thoughts?
I think it's really gritty, and I think the storytelling is great. I think we were just talking right before, there's just so much content going on, and I
real.
think I missed the every week train, and now I'm just kind of waiting for it to finish so I could just binge the whole thing together.
Right.
I know it's
That's a good
great.
idea.
I know it's great. It does seem like it has a darker tone than everything else, and that's what's kind of
Definitely.
drawing me towards it. Me and Quan were talking. Doesn't seem like there's any fluff, like like the frog episode in The Mandalorian.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's none of that.
There are no
Everything-
fillers.
Right.
Right. Everything's driving the story.
I'm excited. it's on the playlist. I'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Paul, you have been watching this, and Frank as well. You've seen all the episodes. I want to get your guys' take. Paul, what do you think of the show so far, and what it's been able to do from a storytelling standpoint for Disney Plus?
I think the show is as good as everything Star Wars can be, and everything we want it to be most of the time. I think the thing that maybe has made people like Marcus or Sonny or some other people less like leaping to go watch it is it's Andor. It's not Luke Skywalker. It's not a Mandalorian. It's not this, that, and the other thing. And I know you guys are going to watch it. I'm not speaking to you two. The people who aren't watching it because of that, I think you should give it a shot. And I there's also been a few people who have said things like this is a Star Wars show for people who don't like Star Wars, and I'm like, what?
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know about all that. But it's
Fighting the
written by
Empire.
Tony Gilroy, who has written TV before. He's done things like he's a great writer. I also believe he wrote Rogue One, or at least parts of it.
Yep.
And it shows every episode. There's not a single there's no fat on this. Everything matters. Everything is driving the story. And it's telling a much more compelling story about the rebellion than I ever could have thought.
Yeah.
The rebellion were just a bunch of quirky little whatevers who get me to Luke. You know what I mean? But these are people who have real personal dilemmas. And Mon Mothma in this show is a perfect example of that. How many of you would have been interested in Mon Mothma before the show came out? Nobody. And if you haven't watched the show, I bet you Marcus should still tell me no. 'Cause you're gonna change Marcus, you're gonna change your mind when you watch the show.
No, I'm actually excited to see what she was like in her prime. 'Cause we've seen her as an elder stateswoman, you know, in other movies and other areas, but now we could kind of see her actually getting her hands dirty. So
Right.
I'm
And that was
excited
something I
for
was
that.
going to mention. Like
that's
a lot
the
of
best way to put it.
Yeah, a lot of people, my wife, she loves this show. She absolutely is infatuated with this. Like we watched both last week's episode and this week's episode yesterday, and on her lunch break she wanted to watch last week's, and she did, and she was like, oh, I can't wait for tonight. And I had to explain to her who Mon Mothma was, and I went, she's in Return of the Jedi. She's the main person in Return of the Jedi. That little clip that we get of her in Return of the Jedi, if you haven't seen anything Star Wars and Andor is the first thing, you're going to watch Return of the Jedi at some point and go, Mon Mothma!
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
You're going to go, oh my gosh, I know everything that she sacrificed to get to where we're at here at this point. And Frank, you've watched the show. You've enjoyed the show. Frank, what do you think of it so far?
I think like Sonny touched on, it's very gritty. It's very grounded.
Yeah.
It has all these notes of it's Star Wars, but it could also take place in Star Trek. It could also take place in Dune, Blade Runner, anything that is sci-fi based that has that more grounded type of tone, and that it happens to be Star Wars is amazing.
Fantastic.
Right.
And the storytelling is great. It's the coolest thing I think I've seen that Plus has put out.
I agree.
I
think it's far and away the best thing.
I think it is, and I mean, and the symbolism in the show, I can't really get into too much depth because I don't want to blow things, for these guys who haven't seen more of it, because the last 2 or 3 episodes are just ridiculous. I
Frank,
mean, you have chills. I mean,
gripping.
Frank, what is it about this story that gives you these chills that you look at this and you go, oh my gosh, like I can't get enough of this?
Because everything that we know about the Empire is being shown to us. It's being built. It's being birthed right in front of us. And I think that's the cool thing about it, is that everything that, and they touch on this when they have the conversations in the episodes, different with Lucen, and they're talking about the impact that fear has on people's lives,
Right.
and the fear that they overcome. The people who are serving as kind of prisoners of the Senate right now, and what's going on. It's incredible. It's really great storytelling. I think it's the best Star Wars thing we've had since Rogue One, and it's probably the best Star Wars thing after that since the original trilogy.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So we're
And
starting.
it crushes everything that's been on Plus. In my opinion, I think it's a lot better than anything that's been on the Plus.
I agree.
Wow.
To keep the vagaries and kind of like try to sell you guys on it who haven't gotten all the way through it yet, is it's doing a wonderful job of telling you what the rebellion is trying to accomplish, while also drawing these lines and then making these characters have to overstep them.
Yeah.
Mon Mothma, she wants to do everything the right way. And at the end of this last episode, she's got a choice to make. Either get caught or do something she doesn't want to do. And that's the kind of moral dilemmas they're facing these real people feeling with.
Yeah.
That they have to do these things because if they don't, everything falls down.
Right.
Everything's over. And then with the Empire, what we're seeing is the way they rule with fear, the way that maybe they wouldn't be able to control you if you actually lashed out, but you're
Right.
too afraid to lash out. But also in that, you're seeing the hubris of the Empire build up and seeing why, like in the Return of the Jedi, Palpatine does something as silly as give them the new plans and bring Luke to the new Death Star. It's the hubris of the Empire forming alongside the grit and the determination of the rebellion forming. And you're seeing these two groups in a more interesting way than they ever have been before. Because for a long time, and there's nothing wrong with this, the Empire was the dark side and the rebellion was the light side. It was these are the good guys, those are the bad guys. That line is being blurred a little bit with this show. And I think it has made it so much more interesting than I ever could have imagined.
I couldn't agree more. This show has been great. If you haven't watched it yet, please check it out on Disney Plus. Yes, Paul.
So the last thing I want to say, sorry, I didn't want to forget to do this.
That's okay. No, keep going.
Because we haven't talked about Andor
At all.
as the character. He is incredible. He is constantly thrust into situations where he doesn't want to be there. He just wants to go. That was cute, huh? He doesn't want to go into these situations where he is having to make a difference, but you can tell he wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he just wants to go to the end of the universe and not be away from all this destruction, so he's the last person it gets to. But every time he finds himself in a situation where he can make a difference, he's the reason it succeeds. He's the reason that these things are able to happen because of his determination and because of his backstory, which you get a little bit of in the first 3 episodes, so you should have seen it. You're seeing that he is so afraid, but also when it's thrust upon him, he is the best at it. And that's it's explaining the Andor we find ourselves with in Rogue One in a more compelling way than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah, and what's great about Andor is that you see in every episode, like the couple episodes ago, Cartina 5, when he first gets on the prison, he starts to look at the guards and see how unprepared they are. And he's someone that likes to collect things as he's going along and doing that. And speaking of collecting, we all have stuff that we like to show off, from comics and sports, cards to original artwork, and even graded comics. Not only that, but the guys at Crafty Comics are here and they have got you covered. They have all sorts of options to help you show off your stuff without any stress of sending anything away and hoping if it comes back in one piece. They have you 100% covered and customizable for your experience. So go check them out at Crafty Comics, CRAFTI comics.com, or visit them on Instagram at Crafty Comics. They're great. They're wonderful. They're a sponsor of this show. We love you guys. Check them out. Now, to get into the bones of what we're doing here today, all right. We have the amazing opportunity tonight to go to the Art House Theater at 8 p.m. and we are going to see the live premiere of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I wanted to ask you guys a few questions. I'm going to start off with you, Frank. What are you most excited about? What are you hoping that they deliver as far as sending this MCU into the next phase? And what are you worried about?
I'm not worried about too much. I think that this is probably going to be the best film of the phase. They're going to end on a high note. I just hope that they are able to do, and I think they will, they're going to give service to Chadwick Boseman, both as a character on screen and off screen. These people lost a friend and a family member, both on and off screen.
For sure.
And I think that it's going to have different emotional beats when we watch it that we're really not ready for. We're thinking like, well, when they do this or that, I'm going to be sad or whatever. But I am hydrated. So I'm ready for tonight. So when anything happens, I mean, I know it's gonna be emotional. There's gonna be, it might be dusty in there. I haven't heard. I know that Art House is a very clean place, but I mean, there might be a little dust in there.
Might get a lot around the eye area.
Somebody might be cutting onions
I
somewhere.
need to borrow Donovan's sunglasses
because of my allergies. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
don't want to get the contact allergies.
I think the movie's gonna be great. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and
Samesies.
It's gonna be cool.
Is there anything that you would like to see as far as what would you like to see as far as them taking the next phase of the MCU? Like, what is something that you're hoping that they would do to bring forward the next phase? Because this is the close of Phase 4 for the MCU.
Pie in the sky is Doom, but I mean, I think it's unlikely that we're gonna get Doctor Doom introduced in this. The closer we get to it, it seems like it's not very possible anymore.
Yeah.
I think
I heard somebody say that wasn't gonna happen. I can't remember where I saw that at, but I saw someone say Doom was never supposed to be. I think it might have been Feige, a quote from Feige that said Doom was never supposed to be in it, but who knows whether that's true or not.
Yeah, we don't know.
But for me, as to what I would like to see going into the next movie or next phase is, I just want it to be a good movie.
Yeah.
I think that's all I need from it.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the next phase will be carried by that, because this last phase was kind of shaky.
Yeah, it really did get off to,
agree
I
there.
wouldn't say a rough start, but it was still, I mean, we've had a slow,
Real slow.
I don't know, you're pulling the levers back for the plane to go up. It feels like a B-52. This thing is slowly but surely getting there. Marcus, what is something that you're looking forward to about this film? Maybe something you're worried about, or maybe even what storyline do you hope that they're trying to achieve with this without having Chadwick Boseman?
Well, I mean, just to touch on the whole Doom thing, I mean, I guess we are getting a little step closer with Namor, because Namor is, you know, he's very, you know, he's tied closely with the Fantastic Four. They, you know, him and Sue Storm and that whole thing. But I'm actually, for if it's Namor or Namor, I'm not sure, but I'm most excited for him just because he represents not only, you know, a new person that's being introduced, but also he also has mutant. He's considered a mutant, so that
The first mutant.
Yeah, so that kind of gets us a little step closer to maybe some X-Men stuff.
Do we get the real cheesy music like we did in Miss Marvel when he shows up? That would take me right out of the movie. Sorry, keep going.
Hey, who knows? We'll see what the wing
With the feet wings.
With the wings.
I love it. I love it.
We'll see what happens there. Probably the thing that I'm concerned about the most is, even though yes, Chadwick is gone, he's left us. I don't want the whole movie to be a cinematic funeral for him.
What he said.
I want them to move on. I'm probably in the minority when I say that I kind of wanted them to recast Black Panther, because regardless of who's playing him as an actor,
He's a poignant character.
These characters have outlived and outlasted their creators.
Yeah,
for sure.
And especially in the comic books. I mean, we have no more Stan Lee. We have no more Jack Kirby, the people who've created these characters. So we have no Christopher Reeves for Superman anymore. But we have moved on, and we've recasted, and we need to move on. I don't want it to be the end all for T'Challa as a character. So that would be my biggest concern with the whole thing. That being said, it's cool to see hopefully more Wakanda
Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Oh, as soon as it came out, I was like, "Where's this man going with this?"
This dude's hoping genocide is out.
Like what?
My God.
Oh man. Anyway, more Wakanda being fleshed out in terms of a country.
I was trying to do it, so I'm like,
Rwanda forever.
Wakanda forever, bro.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not saying anything.
Stay out of that one.
Yeah. So I mean, those things. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
It'll be good to see because all we've seen so far is just the capital city.
Yeah.
And the key players within the Black Panther family, royal family, what have you. Now we'll be able to see some more of the surrounding rural areas or other cities or what have you.
Yeah.
More of that world. So that's going to be great.
Yeah. How about you, Sonny? You've been super excited to see this movie, as all of us have been. What are you looking to expect from this movie, and what are your hopes for it?
I think you guys all know me. I go tinfoil hat fully with everything.
We're here for it, man.
I mean, like I'm on the other side. I don't wish for them to recast T'Challa, but I think if they brought Killmonger back to take over the Black Panther mantle would be amazing. Different universe, whatever kind of deal. I do want Doom, and I'm not expecting it, but I think that's kind of like that's what I want the after credit to be. Even if we don't get any mention of during the movie, I feel like that would bring such an excitement or something to look forward to, because we know how badass Kang is.
How would you feel
be.
about just a Latveria name drop? Would that be enough for you?
That would be enough for me.
That'd be enough for me.
I don't need like Giancarlo Esposito to come through with the metal.
Casting.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Already cast.
Which would be so lit. But
Would be lit.
I same thing with Paul. I just want it to be a good movie. I'm ready to cry. I know I'm gonna that funeral scene when it happens, when they're in all white and everything. I know somebody's gonna be cutting onions. I'm gonna be crying.
For real.
Yeah.
I just know that they have a lot
Easy,
to
Paul.
chill out. I know you want to talk again, but relax. He has his bell. Ding 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 ding.
I have something to say.
I thought.
My take on Sonny's
What Sonny should have said was.
Wow. All right.
No, I'm with you
I just
there.
want it to be
Like
good.
as far as the tinfoil hat, I'm with this. I'm with you, Sonny. I
Yeah.
want to see something. Come on, let's push this forward.
Yeah, let's push
get it
this
going here.
envelope a
Let's
little bit.
End this phase with
Yeah.
something that makes people go, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
I can't wait till what they're going to do in Phase 5 because
Absolutely.
every single one of these movies that have come out in Phase 4 have kind of been like, okay, they've really been epilogues to the blip.
For sure.
And
right.
everything that's happened after Endgame. It's really just been this epilogue that's been kind of like, all right, I'm ready. It's like too many endings in Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? Like, how many times is Samwise Gamgee going to end this stupid movie? Like, let's get this going here.
Yeah.
Not stupid. I'm sorry, Paul.
I'm not hurt.
It's not stupid. It won Best Picture. But yeah, I'm obviously really excited for this film as well. What are you hoping this story is going to talk about, as opposed to the first movie, which is all about legacy, all about leaving your mark? What are you hoping that this story tells this time?
Family.
And not even like you're joking, but
No, but seriously, yeah.
I hope it tells a story about grief and then eventually being able to move on from it. Kind of like what Marcus was saying, and even the joke about family.
Yeah.
That's what I want from this movie. I don't want it to be a 2.5 hour long funeral.
Yeah.
And I think it would be more a better what do you want to call it? A better representation of Chadwick Boseman as a person is if it let it be its own thing and not just be, oh, we're sad because we no longer have him anymore.
Right.
Build on what he has done, which is what we all want to do, right? And I think that will make the movie carry on better. And I think a good example is from No Way Home. I think it was in the zeitgeist for all three of the Spider-Men to be in that movie, and that was a big moment for us. But now, retroactively, we're looking back at it and go, well, that was cool, but now it's happened. I don't know if the movie's as exciting as I thought it was. You know what I mean? The movie was kind of carried by that in a weird way.
Absolutely.
And I think it made it age not as well as it could have.
Absolutely.
And I think if this movie is just a farewell to Chadwick, it could age once it's not as poignant and once his passing isn't as like deep rooted in us. We watch it and we go, oh, well, I think they could have done more with this. And that's all I want from it is for them to actually pass the title on, to allow people to carry his legacy.
Do you guys think we get any like old used footage of Chadwick in this, or any type of
I wouldn't be shocked.
mock-up version? You know what I mean?
I don't think they'll do it.
I think it's treading very like on the.
They've already announced that there's a mid-credit scene, but there's no post-credit
Right.
scene. And one of the producers went on to say that they felt weird putting a post-credit scene
Yeah, 'cause
after
it's
what
always
you'll
usually
see.
funny stuff,
Yeah,
you
what
know?
you'll see after this mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they will.
Yeah.
I hope they don't.
Okay.
Just because like they've gone above and beyond in saying that like, no, we're not going to put Chadwick in this movie. We're going to honor his legacy. We're going to honor his death and allow everyone to grieve. Like, I
So
think
he
it
must
would
die
be
like in the beginning of the movie.
yeah, no. So not even like I think he's
Like
Already
like
passed.
already
he's
passed.
I think
gone.
he's already passed,
That's
yeah.
the one question that I have going into this. How do they justify the death, or is it that we just say that Chadwick dies? Frank, what do you think?
Man.
I think it's this. They're just going to say that he passed away. I don't know if they're really going to touch on like cancer.
Gotcha.
I doubt
Okay.
that.
How about you, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I honestly don't know how they're gonna portray it artistically.
It'd be weird if they glossed over it. You know what I mean?
Right,
So I think that
right.
it needs to be something needs to be said, and I think it would. I don't know if it'd be wrong or right to use the fact that this powerful king of Wakanda and this superhero that we've known actually did get cancer and dies of
Right.
it
I agree.
in the actual movie,
I
which
think-
would be crazy.
I think we talked about it a little bit a few weeks ago. I think it would be more poignant if it was something like that, like he passed in the film the same way he did in real life.
Yeah.
To go, this is serious. There are some things you can't stop.
Right.
Much
Dude.
like I think the kind of
Emotional
analogy we
right
made is showing Clark Kent's father dying of a heart attack. That's
Right.
what makes that so poignant. Is there was nothing. Superman can do all these things. He couldn't stop that.
Yeah.
Right.
And just like T'Challa could do all these things and be the most powerful person in the world, but he couldn't stop that.
Yeah.
Or
And-
or it could be sacrifice. I mean, he could have been on a mission with the Avengers,
Right.
secret mission.
Right.
You know,
And that's what I'm
they could
kind of
probably
hoping
do
it
that.
is, because just from
Right.
a continuity standpoint, like,
right.
wait, Wakanda has the technology to do A, B, C, D through Z 1, 2, and 3, but
Right.
they can't
Cure
take cancer out of their king.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Like that for me is a little bit of a stretch, but
For sure.
then again at the same time, then it's like, well, did Wakandans come up with a cure for cancer? And if they did, why didn't they share it with the world?
Right.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm
It
at.
turns
I
into
think-
this whole like thing, but
Yeah.
all that to say, I'm excited for this movie. I'm going to go really quick because we have a little bit of time left. Frank, do we get one or do we get multiple Black Panthers in this movie?
We're gonna get 3 people in the costume.
Ooh.
Paul,
I think we're going to get 3 or 4 people
Okay.
in costume.
Marcus,
I say 2.
wonderful. Sonny,
I'm going with the over. I'm going at least 3. At least 3.
very good. I'm going to go 1.
Okay.
I don't think that they're going to do. I'm not going to go into great detail
I
about
wouldn't
it,
be
but I think they're
surprised
just
either
going to
way.
do 1.
Yeah,
Guys, who's ready to go see a movie?
I sure am.
So excited for this.
We are really excited. First, I want to thank everybody who listens to the show. I also want to thank the Art House Theater for hosting this event with us tonight. If you are joining us tonight, we can't wait to see you there. 8 p.m., the premiere for Black Panther. I want to thank all of you guys. Frank, I love you. Thank you for letting me do this week.
I love you too.
Paul, as always, your beautiful beard.
I love you, and I'm sorry for being excited.
It's all right. I enjoyed the gentle touch. It felt like my 5-year-old trying to get candy.
Now
Marcus,
I'm a
we
5-year-old.
love you. Thanks for coming. Sonny,
you, thank
anything
you.
that you guys want to say to the people before we leave?
Socials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go tell us what you think of Wakanda Forever on at @into_comics on Twitter or at Into the West Comics on Instagram, and comment down below. Type in the chat. Do whatever you want to do. Share what you think, and we'll be talking about it maybe later, maybe next week. We'll see. But let us know what you think.
Absolutely. Well, once again, guys, thank you again. We also want to thank our sponsor, Crafty Comics, for helping us out with our show this week. We'll see you guys next week as we talk about the reaction to Wakanda Forever and other things that are coming in the Nerdverse. So we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.
Love y'all.
Great week, everybody.
Can't wait to go watch this.
Take care. Brush your hair.
Take care, brush your hair.
Did you?
No.
You're no. I'm done.